What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Cali, HMG, the Sample King. Uh, I guess, man, I just feel like it's time for me to tell my story, you know what I mean? Just to let people into my world, but let people know how I got to where I got in God and how I got to know that God was real for myself, man. And, I guess just a little background, you know what I mean? So, for people that don't know me, I'll just tell a little background about myself, man. So, as a kid, growing up, I was a military brat. My pop was in the army. You know what I mean? So all my life growing up as a kid, we lived on army bases everywhere, Germany, Jersey, to the Mill City where we ended up at. You know what I mean? So my pop, he ended up retiring from the military. We ended up in Milwaukee. We ended up in the Mill City. And because that's where my grandma was at, and I was about 9 or 10 years old when I moved to the Mill City. You know, as a kid, I wasn't really into music or nothing like that. I couldn't. I hated the radio. I hated music. My bigger sister, she would always listen to the radio, and I would just be like, whatever, turn that down. So I wasn't really into music and anything like that. I was really into just purely sports growing up. Until I moved to the Mill City, moved with my older cousin, Jason, man, shout out to you, dog, Colin. And he kind of exposed me, kind of opened me up to the rap world. To rap music, you know what I mean? I never really heard rap music before that time, before I moved to the Mill City, and he just opened me up to that. So I think Scarface was the first person I ever heard rap. I heard him, and it took a while to grow on me, but it grew on me, and I ended up liking rap for myself. Whatever, that's how that started. But so we moved here. I got introduced to the rap game. I got introduced to the comedy side of life through my cousin, and just whatever, everything was normal, just a normal kid, nothing extreme happened in my life, nothing like that. And as I grew, I became more and more attached to the rap game and to that culture, to that lifestyle, to the streets and stuff like that. So as I got closer to adulthood, whatever, man, smoke my weed, drinking, whatever, out there in the streets with people I thought was my little homies or whatever, man. Started running with the wrong cats, doing stuff like that, man. Just typical stuff for the young black people these days. I was there, I did it, and as I got into my lower 20s, I just started to feel like a real depression type of spirit, man. Like, I don't know, I was just always sad, man. Like, I knew that there was something more out there, you know what I mean, but I had no clue, you know what I mean. Like, I wanted to work, but I wasn't working at that time. 20-something years old, I'm a man, I'm supposed to be working. I wasn't working, nor did I even want to work. I didn't even care for working. So it just got to a point where it became like a real depressive spirit, you know what I mean. It was like a real heaviness on me, so I was just this thug guy, this hardcore on the outside, but really on the inside, man, when I look back, I never really was that person, you know what I mean. I never really was like that, through the combination of the music I was listening to, and the so-called friends, the people out in the streets and stuff, my environment. Man, I just became attached to this lifestyle and this thug lifestyle, whatever. And so it just went downhill from there, man. So one day, I goes over my friend's house for a little get together that we always do over our crib, and where we drink, we smoke at, stuff like that. So we was going over there to drink and smoke. So we drink and smoke. I'm high, I'm drunk, pretty much, and And so we throw in this movie. I'll never forget the movie. It was called Belly of the Beast, Steven Seagal movie. Yeah, this Steven Seagal joint, and they was. Anyways, we watched the movie, and it gets to the final scene. You know, where Steven Seagal, he fights this whatever. Steven Seagal is like the top good dude and the evil guy. He fights the top evil guy. You know, the final fight scene. You know what I mean? And it gets to that part where they're about to fight, and then they flash. The movie flashes. The screen flashes. It switches to these monks that were praying for Steven Seagal, and then it flashed and it switched to these demons, these evil people that was praying for the evil dude. And it was like they were receiving power, from their understudies. As they was praying, they was receiving power from them to fight each other. And whatever, so I'm just watching that final fight scene, and with the comedy, I'm just trying to be funny, I'm like, hey y'all, I was like, look at the power of prayer. I'm like, look, y'all see? They getting power, to fight each other. Look at the power of prayer, just trying to be funny. So I'm just like, so, hey man, I'm going to try it myself. So I gets up, I goes into the back room with nobody in there, you know what I mean, and I sits on the bed, but then I get serious, you know what I mean, and, because I have learned, like, when I used to go to church previous times, that you don't play with prayer, so I get serious, man. I sits on the bed, and I just get to thinking to myself over and over, like, man, I want to see in the spiritual world. I want to see in the spiritual world. You know what I mean? This is how I know it was God. Because I'm like, what am I doing thinking this, dude? I'm not spiritual at all. I have no clue what spiritual is. And so I'm just like, I want to see in the spiritual world. I want to see in the spiritual world. I keep thinking this over and over. So I was like, whatever. So I closed my eyes and I said a quick prayer. I was like, God, combine my mind, body, and soul with you, your Son, and your Holy Spirit. That's exactly what I said. I said those exact words. Combine my mind, body, and soul with you, your Son, and your Holy Spirit. And so as my eyes were closed, I was trying to see with my eyes being closed physically, and I was trying to see in the spirit. I was still trying to see the room. I was trying to see whatever was around me. Just not knowing, being ignorant, just not knowing, man. I'm thinking when you see in the spirit, you can have your eyes closed, but you'll still see the room. That's what I thought seeing in the spirit was, just not knowing, man. So I had my eyes closed, and I was looking, trying to see if I could see the room. I'm like, man, whatever, this is stupid. I'm like, this ain't working. And as soon as I opened my eyes, something just moved real quick. Another person just bolted. He ran. It was like, it's so hard to explain. He moved so fast, but it was slow enough for me to see it. It was kind of a combination of both. It's so hard to explain. It moved so fast, lightning fast, but it was slow enough for me to see. When I seen it was somebody was in that room with me, and I seen it. As soon as I opened my eyes, it shot across. And I just scream, ah! I'm just screaming like a little breezy. You know what I mean? I fall on the floor. I balls up in a quarter. I just put my hands over my head. Ah, dude, who the heck is in here with me, And so they heard me, everybody else out, in the other room, they heard me screaming. So they came into the room, and they like, dude, what is going, what's going on, dude? You tripping. And so I'm like, no, man, somebody is in here with me. I'm not crazy. I seen somebody up in here with me. They just ran. And so they, man, like, man, whatever, man. So they looks underneath the bed. Nobody there. They look in the closet. Nobody there. They check the windows. They bolted locked. And they like, man, you tripping. What is you really tripping out? And I'm like, man, I know I seen something. And so, whatever. So I gets up off the ground. And the first thing I noticed was my high was gone. Immediately. I wasn't drunk no more. I wasn't high no more. That's the first thing I noticed was my high was gone. And So I'm like, whatever. I didn't, whatever. I just shook that off, like, whatever. I ain't paying no mind. And then next thing you know, I just get to thinking about stuff that happened to me in the past. I mean, everything. It all was just coming to me. It was just coming to me. And I was just like, you know what? Oh, this is why this happened. Oh, this is why that happened. And come to find out, when I had said, connect me with you, your Son, and your Holy Spirit, I asked God for the Holy Spirit to come inside of me. And when I did that, He came inside of me. God honored my prayer. And when the Holy Spirit, I didn't find this out, of course, until a little ways later, until I studied and found out. But when I found out that I spoke those words and I asked the Holy Spirit to come inside me, the Spirit came in and it chased a demon off of my life. That's that depressing thing, that heavy weight that I was feeling like I just felt depressed. I would be this tough guy behind, whenever I was out, out and about in front of other people. I was this tough guy, man. But whenever I get by myself, I would just cry, man, because I don't know. I didn't like myself. I hated myself. I wasn't good for nothing. I wasn't doing nothing with my life, and I was depressed about it. And that was a demonic spirit that was in me, making me feel that way. And when I asked the Holy Spirit that came in, God allowed me to see that demon run out of my life. And simply because I asked Him, and I got to remember, like, wait a second, I did keep saying, let me see in the spiritual world. And then I seen a demon run off of my own life. He really allowed me to see a demon. For that split second, He allowed me to see in the spiritual world. God is amazing. And ever since that day, I've never been the same. That's real talk. And that's why I'm so extreme. Some people say I overdo it. That's why I am who I am today, man. That's what happened to me. I actually seen a demon run off of my own life, and I never was the same ever since that day. This is why I love Jesus so much. And if you was there with me, man, I promise you, whoever you are, if you was there with me in that room, then you'll be just like me right now. You would know that God was real for yourself, not what no book tell you, not what a pastor tells you, not what a witness tells you, it's not some religious thing, not something just people say just to make you be good, just to make you change, to make you live the way they want you to live. It's real. God is real. And I never knew that for 20 some odd years. I think I was 23 when that happened. I never knew God was real for myself. I went to church and I heard, but I never really knew Him for myself. And that day He came into my life, I knew God was real for myself. So I just encourage you, man. God is real. I know you can't see Him, and I know that throws a lot of people off, but trust me, man. Trust me. God is real. Ask to be filled with His Spirit. Start walking that walk, and watch God start blessing you, man. You heard it first here from your boy, Cali HMG. The Sample King, man. Holla at me, yo. Pittsburgh, Mill City. Stand up. One.